Tristen Law Show. If it's your first time here, welcome. If you've been here before, welcome back. I'm Tristen Law, semi-retired pro wrestler. Today, I'm your host. Well, Booker T said it. He said it plain. He said that Jade Cargill didn't learn much in AEW. Type disrespectful, right? And now WWE's trying to teach her on live TV. And whether you agree with him or not, the statement hits at the heart of something even better. What happens when the look of a superstar arrives years before the experience does? Jade Cargill came into wrestling with everything you could want. The physique, the confidence, the aura, and the business sense. She's a brand before she was even a main eventer. But somewhere in between her 60-0 streak in AEW and her stalled momentum in the WWE, the conversation changed. I am not alone. I'm here with Jess, the Yaptain, and today we're asking, is Jade Cargill overhyped, underrated, or just unfinished? We're going to track her rise from the Shaquille O'Neal debut to the TBS championship dominance to the slow burn to why Booker T and fans are both right and wrong about her. I'm going to ask you guys first, and then I'm going to ask Jess. Jess, do you think that Jade Cargill's, what do you think Jade Cargill's biggest obstacle is right now? Is it the booking, the training, or the timing?
I'm gonna have to say it's in between. I definitely want to say it's the booking, and then I also want to say it's timing. I want to say it's both. It all goes hand in hand, because maybe, you say she just, she came from AEW, so she wasn't on the same WWE train as everybody else. You understand? So she probably didn't train the same and didn't do all the sorts of things that they probably do over at WWE training. So I would definitely say that. And then to book her to get taken off of air for months, and then just to come back, I guess I think it will have to be both between timing and booking.
Let's see. So there's a lot of good points, Jess. There's a lot of things going on in the chat right now. The chat is hot right now. That is why you have to watch the Tristen Law Show live. You have to be here. It's something you can do. Of course, you can always watch the replay or listen to the audio only, but it's something you have to be here live to do. Right now we got a poll going on. Mm-hmm. And in the poll, I am asking you, wait, the poll is not even up. Imagine when you only had one job. The poll that I'm asking you, is Jade Cargill underrated? Is she
overhyped?
You know what, Jess? That's what, I'm glad that you're here. Hold on. We're going to do this. See, is Jade Cargill, see, I can't even spell. The thing about having big fingers. Is Jade Cargill overhyped? Mm-hmm. Is she underrated? Or is she unfinished? That's what I want to know from everybody today. I want to know, is she overhyped? I want to know, is she underrated? Or, hold on. They won't let me add a third option. Add an option, or is she just unfinished? Yep, that's what we're doing. Starting the poll today. So that's the quote. That's the question I'm asking everybody right now. Universal saying in the chat that Jade in AEW, Jade was coached, but she was not trained by Brian. Right? She was actually trained by fellow Team 3D Academy, pro wrestler QT Marshall. Me and him both went to the same exact wrestling school at the same exact time. Maria says that I think Booker T is just being a company man, taking shots at AEW just to take shots at AEW. Okay. Fernando says that he disagrees with Booker T. Jade was trained by the great Daniel Bryan. She was actually trained by QT Marshall at the Nightmare Factory in Georgia. And QT Marshall got the same exact training that I got. QT Marshall from the Dudley Boys. And then QT Marshall actually, went to WWE and he did some things, never on the TV. He was extra talent and stuff like that. And, Ring of Honor, and then made his way in AEW. So yeah, but definitely there was training going on there as well too. But in order to get the whole picture, I think we got to rewind all the way back to before the hype, before the Queen of the Ring, and to the moment that Jade first walked into AEW that made everybody stop what they were doing. when you look at Jade Cargill's debut, she had her debut at Dynamite November 11th, 2020, interrupting Cody Rhodes. Yeah, in case you didn't know, Cody Rhodes was in AEW, and they were teasing the arrival of Shaquille O'Neal. And it was an instant moment. She's in the ring with somebody who's a main eventer, and you're talking about Shaquille O'Neal. All right, Shaquille O'Neal should have been wrestled in the WWE against the Big Show doing WrestleMania or something like that, but that never happened for whatever the reason may be.
Right.
But in March 2021, that's when the match finally happened. It was a tag match with Shaq and Cody versus Red Velvet, and it was a viral debut. It was viral. Granted, it was in the middle of the pandemic, but it was viral because you had this beautiful black wrestler woman, and she looks the part, and she's in there with Cody Rhodes, who is probably one of the biggest names in AEW at the time, in there with Red Velvet, but one of the most, I guess, viral people, Shaquille O'Neal. But then what happened? AEW booked her as, okay, I don't like saying this, but this was her words. I know it's still early in the day, but AEW booked her as that bitch. Her words, not mine. They built the confidence. No, Jess, no, it's really her words. She used to walk around and say all the time, I am that bitch.
I'm not mad at her at all, because at the time she probably was. If you really look at the pattern here, guess who else is on this same train right now?
Who?
Monet Mercedes.
You see, the way that they do things in AEW, I just don't get it. But
Mercedes Monet, my bad. I switched her name, my bad.
I know who you meant.
Well, just for the case for people, because you know how they like to chop up people.
Right, that was my ex-girlfriend. I was so mad when I found out that she was single again and she got with somebody else, but either way. But I think that what they did in AEW was they built the confidence with her, they built the mystique, and they built the dominance. She was the TBS champion. Right? She was the TBS champion. She wins the TBS championship in January 2022 and goes on a 60-0 run for 508 days holding the title. And for me, that's where the problem starts. That 60-0 streak, it wasn't dominance, it was delay. And AEW was scared to let her fail, and to learn. You see, my problem, and I know Heel Vega's probably going to say this when he watches this later on, or if he's here in the chat now, having to see them check in. But AEW built Jade like build Goldberg. They built her to be dominant. They built her for short matches and no losses. That's not a one size fits all.
No, it's not. Especially, I just go back to when she was, this is kind of old. Well, it's new, but old. So, Sheamus has his own, exercising thing on here on YouTube.
Oh, I love it.
Right? So I caught Jade's. I did. I caught Jade's regimen of what the hell she be doing, to get herself prepped up. I'm like, the way she overdoes it. You know what I'm saying? Because she wants to stay this in this persona, in this shape. But I'm starting to learn that just because, you got the strength of a wrestler doesn't mean your body can actually do what it's supposed to do in the ring. I'm starting to learn that now.
Thank you.
You're right. Like, look at people like the Great Khali. Look, if you ask me, Great Khali was big for nothing. But they championed the Great Khali. Some people look the look. Like, you can look like a wrestler. There's people that walk around looking like wrestlers all day, and there's people that walk around that don't look like wrestlers, and they could actually wrestle. Go into the chat. Maria says that she's talking to Universal. Universal says that Jade currently has no contract, and Jade Cargill, he's disrespectful. Here's what he said. Universal said that Jade Cargill is the real I hurt people. So
I hurt people that hurt people.
Right. So Maria says that Universal, all Booker T does is take shots at AEW all the time. He acts like WWE can do no wrong. Total company man. She also says that Mercedes is 1,000,000 times better than Jade.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe so, but Jade came in and Sasha left. I'm sorry.
You call her Sasha. We know her as Sasha.
I was like, my bad. That's not her name no more. Mercedes is her name. I'm just saying, you may be right. She probably is a better wrestler, but in the eyes of WWE, obviously they think otherwise because, Sasha left, Jade came in.
But honestly, though, when you look at the grand scheme of things, it doesn't even matter because Sasha Mercedes Moné was not there at the same exact time as Jade Cargill, right?
No,
but,
I mean, she may not have been. We don't know who's still up on that little roster unless you go on the website. But, you know, you never know who's still active and they're just sitting up there on that shelf. And I feel like Sasha sat on the shelf all the way up until her contract was up, and then she rolled out. And then, 2 years later, all of a sudden we got Jade Cargill.
But I think, though, that everybody in the chat right now is having a discussion about, is Mercedes Moné better than Jade Cargill? Yeah, I agree. I vaguely remember wrestling on a show in Mexico, Maine. There's a Mexico and Maine people. Mm-hmm. I vaguely remember wrestling in Mexico and Maine for NWA, and Sasha Banks, Mercedes Moné, was there. So she has more time in the ring than does Jade Cargill. Jade Cargill's still new,
right?
So new that the plastic is still on her, and we're going to talk about that later on. We're still looking at her in AEW, though, right?
I have something. I've been thinking about stuff like that.
Uh-oh.
Like,
okay,
they're both because they're both the same age, right?
They are.
They're both 90s babies like me. They're both the same age.
But 80s was the best year, but keep going.
But clearly, the training and the experience is totally different between one and the other.
Yeah.
You can see that Mercedes was there was there with Naomi as a youngin, learning this stuff. It seems like Jade is kind of a late bloomer, maybe. Kind of started off in wrestling kind of sort of late.
She did. Yep. And we're going to look at that a little bit more later on. But here's where I think that AEW fell short, Jess. The matches rarely went beyond 5 minutes. They limited in-ring development, right? The lack of main event feuds with Jade Cargill at AEW. No Britt Baker, no Toni Storm, no Thunder Rosa. Unlike Goldberg, Jade's undefeated streak became the ceiling. It wasn't her platform. It wasn't something that she rides in. What happens that in May 2023, she loses to Chris Statlander after defeating Tyra Valkyrie. She gets a September rematch and an exit. Bye-bye, sayonara. And fans sense that she's moving on. Here's the question, Jess, and I want to ask everybody that's watching, whether you're watching live or on demand, here's the question directed to you. Mm-hmm. Do you think AEW protected her, or did they actually stall her growth? What do you think, Jess?
100% it's a stall. It's a complete stall. Like, just maybe a face. You know what I'm saying? Look at Jade Cargill. Like, she's beautiful. She's black. She's tall. Like, you know, she's beautiful. She's black. She's tall. She has the body of a chiseled Greek mythology god. Like, come on, man. Like, she looks like she is supposed to be an athlete, right? So you don't want your prettiest toy to break, do you?
I agree. I think that
like they treated her like a doll, like a porcelain doll, like they never wanted to really use, but they only put it out for main events and special guests. You see? But she collected all these belts, collect, just like Sasha. And, you know, she tried to show that, you know, I may be pretty and I may be black, but I could do this. This is my life. You know, I'm not just the face. I'm a real life wrestler. So I feel like being at WWE is a hard but needed lesson. Hard, but it's needed. Like, girl, we want, come on now. Jade, if you're ever watching stuff like this, listen to me.
And she should. Jade, if you're watching, make sure you hit that subscribe button, Jade.
Yeah, like, listen to me, Jade. You have no idea just your existence has done for the Black women community. You have no idea.
Thank you.
Like, you don't know. I'm like, we love Bianca and we love Naomi, but we have never seen something like you before.
I mean, I'm sorry, I'm making all these faces because I'm just reading the chat. Like, man, Fernando and Universal? Ooh.
Yeah,
like,
I can tell you right now, I am a Jade Cargill fan. I am a fan, and I want her to progress and grow in the company.
I do too.
I do
too. Let me go to the chat real quick. Fernando says that Mercedes walked out on WWE because she was getting disrespected by them, is now in the best run of her career, collecting belts like it's nothing. Universal claps back. Universal claps back. You ready for the clap back? Universal says, best run of her career? collecting 10 non-important independent titles means nothing. You could say this is her worst run of her career. Damn. Universal, you haven't been here in a while and you just come out with the fire?
I'm about to say, I wouldn't say the worst run of the year. I would definitely say because she is not with WWE, because we all know how it all goes. It's either the top is WWE, then you have AEW, and then you have TNA, or it's either WWE, TNA, AEW.
Nah, AEW is respectfully number 2.
Respectfully.
WWE is without a shadow of a doubt number 1.
So AEW. So is it really her run, or is it her trying to keep up being a wrestler? Maybe she's not worried about, the spotlight of being a WWE wrestler. Maybe she just wants to wrestle and show that she can wrestle as a 120-pound Black woman. The girl's little. She is small, y'all, and she collecting Thanos, y'all. Full finger hand. Both hands.
But you see, but my whole thing though, right? And this is really not an episode about Mercedes Moné. We have to make a whole separate episode about her because it seems like she's a hot topic. But my whole thing about her is that Universal's right. The 10 titles mean nothing. You got people like Drew McIntyre, who went out to the Indies and rebuilt his career and came back to the WWE. So what's Mercedes Moné really done? She gets the dream to wrestle wherever she wants. I think that Mercedes Moné has too many irons in the fire, right? Before she just takes one and goes to AEW, maybe wrestles a couple indie dates on the side and really makes herself something. She's making herself the female belt collector. She's making herself the female Thanos. But why? Why? This is nothing that nobody's really talking about her. Oh yeah, Mercedes Moné got 10 belts. Give us something to talk about. That's what I think is more important. But let me tell you what I think about that. I asked you the question, do you think that AEW protected her growth or did they actually stall her? Fernando says that blaming AEW for Jade's lack of wrestling skills is a cop-out. Okay. Is AEW... Universal says, in AEW, Jade was a star for what she was. In WWE, she's an embarrassment. Fernando claps back. Universal, what has Jade done better than Mercedes? I'll wait. Wow. Fernando said, I never said that Jade is better.
The girl has just been here.
Right.
She just got here.
Maria says, Universal saying Mercedes. Look, the thing that I like about the chat, though, right, is that anybody watching this, we're all being respectful here, right? I created an arena to where we can debate respectfully, but at the end, we're going to shake hands. This is not politics. This is not where we're at each other's throat. You come here to the Tristen Law Show to debate your idea. You debate your idea, and we are respectfully in, and I love what's happening in the chat. I'm going to answer that question that I asked in a second. Do you think AEW protected her? Did they actually stall her growth? Maria's clearing everything up. It looks like she's the referee in the chat. She says that Universal saying Mercedes is on the worst run of her career is foolish to say. No, man. Look, I don't think that she's on her best. But since we're talking about Jade Cargill, what I think, do I think that AEW protected her or actually stalled her growth? I think my hot take is that AEW didn't build Jade Cargill. They protected her until she ran out of things to prove. Look,
right. What more do you want? What more do you want from me?
I agree with protecting her, right? That's the best part about the pro wrestling business. I learned that from watching a documentary when Bret Hart was talking about how he wrestled a guy who was supposed to be the next Hulk Hogan, but the guy was trash. So what he did, what Bret Hart did, was he worked the guy to his strengths. So he didn't get what we call in the pro wrestling business exposed. So that he didn't get exposed, he worked him to his strengths. And that's what he did with Jade Cargill. That's what he did with Bill Goldberg. Only make him work 5-minute matches, because if you worked anything longer than 5 minutes, you were going to expose him for a fraud. But here's how I feel, though. I feel like WWE, I feel like AEW, AEW made the statue, and it's WWE's job right now to make it breathe. But did they handle the sculpture with care, or did they drop it on the way out of the box? Damn, I'm disrespectful sometimes. But look, sometimes I'm disrespectful. Look, that's why everybody comes to the Tristen Law Show.
It's not that you're disrespectful at all. Because it's a valid question. It's a very valid question. So I don't think I didn't find that disrespectful. It's a valid question.
Like I told you in the pre-production, some of these things might be disrespectful, but it's all out of love. If Jade Cargill ever stumbles upon this, so you know what? Share this episode in social media and tag Jade Cargill. Let her see this. Let her see this. And maybe she can go talk to somebody at WWE and say, that brother right there, that brother means something, has good meaning. Maybe she wants to come sit on here with me and Jess and just talk about her career. I don't know. But when she came to
I'll cry.
You cry?
I will fangirl her so good. Like, girl, you will forget whose show this is. Cause I'm like, girl, like she is if I was 12 years old, I would want her as a toy. I would want her gear. I would want everything Jade Cargill. I would if I was 12, 13 years old again.
But Jess, everybody knows what Jess is dressing up as is Halloween. She's going to pull out her best silver wig, and she's going to go out there and flex their muscles and all that stuff. Look, I can see it. I can see it. But look, so Jade Cargill, she eventually, gets to WWE. And WWE publicly announced her signing, and which is rare for a female free agent. They don't ever give the ladies that much love, and I love it that the ladies get love. And I'm I'm such a champion for women's pro wrestling, and I'm so glad that she got that. But I felt that WWE's rollout of Jade Cargill's was a press release. It wasn't a plan.
Oh, wow.
This is a press release.
Wow.
Hey, look, we got the newest black girl in pro wrestling. We traded one and got one. We got rid of Mercedes, and now we got another black girl here in the pro wrestling in WWE.
Right, it's a big BOGO. Like they got one, buy one, get one.
Right,
free.
right. Let's do an exchange. Fair exchange, no robbery. But then she made her debut. She made her debut at the 2024 Royal Rumble. Huge debut entering the Royal Rumble. You know what made that Rumble debut for Jade Cargill so huge?
Tell him, Trish.
She came in at number 28, and she eliminated Becky Lynch and Nia Jax.
Sure did.
This is a big deal in itself, Jess, because she eliminated 2 former world champions in the Royal Rumble.
Yeah. I remember. I was like, whoa, like you rolled Nia straight out the ring, sis. I was like, oh. Like, again, mind you, I'm just like, Trish, y'all, I didn't watch AEW, so I didn't really get a chance to see Jade's run. But when she walked out on that ring and showed her dominance, I knew I was like, man, WWE, please don't fumble this bag right here. Because it's not that many. Bianca is hurt. You know what I'm saying? Bianca's hurt. And, right around now, we know Naomi and Jim are making plans, right?
They are.
So I'm like, no, don't fumble this bag. We, like, Nia, y'all know how I feel about Nia. I how I feel about her. And then who else is person? I'm just saying.
I just like the buzz.
There's not many people of color that are women in WWE.
You're right.
So for them to come, for her to show that yes, there are more coming. Come on, man, y'all fumbled it. I'm sorry, WWE. Like I told y'all, it's a thin line. It's a booking thing, and that she isn't WWE wrestling ready. She's AEW, yes, but not WWE. Well, obviously, she needs some more time with them for a little bit, which I think is what's happening right now.
Well, Maria checks in. Maria says that Jade not going to NXT was let's start again. Maria says Jade not going to NXT first was a dumb mistake by WWE. They should have known better. I'm going to give them a hand clap.
I agree.
Give a hand clap for that.
I agreed. Can you imagine if she went, with her experience at AEW and then went to NXT and was over there with Jada Parker and Lash Legend and all those girls? Like, oh, that would have been beautiful. At least, and then, came in with Stephanie. You see? Right. You could have came in with Stephanie and then did your thing.
But I think that they probably used her as a learning tool, that there's other people from NXT who they didn't just bring in, straight to the main roster, like AJ Styles. AJ Styles didn't go to NXT. He came straight from TNA. He came straight from New Japan. He came straight from the Indies, right? And he came directly to the main roster. But when they did that with AJ Styles already had, 15 plus years of pro wrestling underneath his belt. He wrestled for WCW towards the end. He wrestled for TNA, NWA. He wrestled for the Indies. He wrestled for Ring of Honor. He wrestled for companies in Japan. He's got experience. He's got something that Jade didn't have. When Jade Cargill made her debut at the Royal Rumble in 2024, fans crowned her as the future before she even spoke on the mic.
So I'm going back to look at AJ's life a little bit. AJ, when he came out, there was no NXT.
No, there was.
How could we?
When he
it was?
Yeah. There was an NXT when he came to the WWE. Yes. Or
but it wasn't called NXT, was it?
No, it was NXT. If it wasn't NXT, it might have been FCW, but there was some kind of developmental in place that he could have went to.
Okay, gotcha. Okay, so yeah, all right, you're valid.
But
of course you are.
so they take the woman, Jade Cargill, and they put her in a tag run with Bianca Belair. Teaming with Bianca Belair, that was a dream pairing. Everybody wants to see Bianca Belair versus Jade Cargill. But here's my question, though. Why everybody want to see the black people fight right away? Why? Why? It would have been a good match, though. I ain't going front, but why? They go to France, right? They go to Backlash, France, May 2024, and win the Women's Tag Team Championships. I think that 100% tagging Jade Cargill with Bianca Belair was smart. It hid her flaws, but it also hid her identity.
Yeah, because why Bianca? It was like that little very thin mirror right there. Jade's right there, but hey, I'm here. One of the greatest women wrestlers of all time. Like, hello, and then of course they're doing Naomi very dirty, but hey, which leads to what? Which leads to what? The whole heel turn of Naomi.
There's still meat on the bone with that, and we're gonna talk about that in just a little bit. I feel that there's so much more meat on the bone left in that, and they just threw it in the garbage. I think though, by them putting her with Bianca Belair, it was a smart move. It was a smart move because it allowed her to level up, right? It allowed her to be in the ring with somebody who can help hide her flaws, who can pull who can push when she can no longer pull. That's the best part about tag team wrestling.
Do we want to say it was to hide her flaws?
Of course.
Or was this a way to bring Jade under Bianca's arm and she could, watch and learn?
A little bit of both. You always put you try to put, when you got somebody brand new, you try to give them somebody. The way I probably see this happening is that they probably hung out in the locker room. I think that Bianca Belair was probably Jade's big sister. Right? Bianca Belair they probably hung out in the locker room. If Montez wasn't there traveling, I'm sure they probably traveled together because they're both probably coming from Florida. Yeah, they're both coming from Florida. So, it's a coach-up session between the whole entire thing. But they gave her 2 reigns, 2 international defenses. They gave her major presentation. I think the visual appeal for Bianca Belair and Jade Cargill at the same time, I think it was WWE's Black Sea superhero team.
Black Powerpuff Girls. Hello? Talk to them. You had Naomi. You had Jade Cargill, and you had Bianca. Come on, man. And you take down Mojo Jojo Nia. I'm sorry.
Why Nia Jax gotta be Mojo Jojo?
I'm sorry. It looked like a fun story. It looked fun. I'm sorry.
So then what eventually happens, right, is in November 2024, they write the woman off TV. They give her this little backstage attack. That's what they give her.
Remember that?
I remember that. And Naomi replaces her in the whole storyline injury. It was real life heat rumors, allegedly, that she was almost in a fight. I'm using quotations. If you listen to the audio only version, or if you put your phone down, or you walked away from the TV, it's allegedly that she almost got into a fight with Shayna Baszler. Let me tell you something. When it comes to picking your fights, I ain't gonna pick on with Shayna Baszler. Shayna Baszler's an MMA wrestler, fighter. I don't want her to put me to sleep where everybody's watching. Come on, man.
Nah, man, you don't want to see that. That's kind of embarrassing. Like the last time they got embarrassed on TV. We're not going to talk about it no more.
Universal saying in the chat, in a tag team, you have one strong wrestler that's over and one that needs improvement or is a rising star. Right. Or they both coming together, at the same exact time and they just feel like it fit together and they could rise together. But I think in Jade Cargill's different, in Jade Cargill's, Jade Cargill's thing, and the word I can't think of, describe it. It comes in a box, brown box with a label on it. In Jade Cargill's case, where WWE wanted her to be, they realized that she wasn't where they thought that she would be. They already wasted the money promoting her, so now they needed her to catch up. They needed her to go to Remedial Wrestling ASAP. So it would make sense to put her in the ring with somebody that good. Put her in the ring with Charlotte. I think that Charlotte was hurt at the time, something like that. But
yeah, Charlotte hadn't was still uncleared yet, but she was still getting promoted in the background because that's when we found out, oh, okay, her and Alexis Bliss might be a thing.
Right.
But that was the knee surgery.
Right.
We talked about that
after the knee surgery.
Unreal,
that's right.
On Netflix.
But I think that fans started to question, though, from what I was seeing online, is Jade Cargill hard to work with, or is WWE struggling to place her?
Don't put the black women are hard to work with trope on her. Let's not do that. I think they don't know what to do with her. If again, going back to Unreal on Netflix, you see who's in the writer's room. Do you see any black women in there?
Maybe that could be the problem. And remember, we don't see everybody, but maybe that could be a problem. But you got to look at it like this, though. But Jade Cargill is not the only black woman that works for the WWE. They have Naomi, and I think that they have Naomi, and they have Nia Jax, they have Bianca Belair, and those are the three that I can name off the top of my head on the main roster. But my whole thing, though, is that maybe that could be the case, because I felt like when Naomi started coming out there as the dancing person, going and doing the slide and the glow and all that stuff, I felt like maybe she got something here. And I want to say this too, though, Jess. I know that you're a fan, and I hate to be the person that pops the bubble for you, but WWE Unreal is a work.
I know.
It's scripted television, but you know what? She's still entitled. She's still entitled to enjoy it. Everyone, don't nobody tell Jess. Just leave her alone. But I'm telling Jess though that it's a work. It's a flam. It's a skims. It's a flim flam, and it's a okie doke. It's just to make television.
Most of it, yeah, absolutely. But for y'all to show me what's happening in that writer's room and gorilla room, that's the part. Those are the parts I'm like, no, y'all not gonna work me with that. Everything else, absolutely. This is all a part of the John Cena retirement run. I know. Maria
says that Shayna would have hurt Jade if they fought. Thank God he did not. Yeah, I agree. Universal says that Shayna is 100% legit and the story was true. He says that Universal is fake. Producers admitted everything is fake. Fernando says that WWE failed Jade the same way they failed Omos or whatever.
Hot take.
I think what they're doing with him, though, with Omos now, he's in NXT now. They gave him the opportunity to go to Japan to go learn. They've invested in this guy. They've allowed him, Omos, whatever, the big black dude, right? The basketball
the really
player.
Very big, tall one. I remember him, and I was like, where the FUCK, where did he go? Like, what? Like
he went to Japan.
Got ourselves some Omafemi. I was expecting that, him versus Omafemi.
That's what's happening, isn't that that's what's happening. I think that's what they're teasing right now with NXT. You got to get that VPN, girl. Got to get that VPN. But the thing is, right, is that I think that what they're doing with Omos is what they should do with Jade Cargill. But are they a little bit too far gone with her? Not saying that she's a lost cause. What I'm saying is that are they a little bit too far gone that they can't really bring her back in NXT because everybody's going to see, this is what's going on here, that she needs more work. Not somewhere like Omos where they take him off TV, let him go to Japan, let him do his thing, and then come back to America.
Nah, I think they still have time. Again, it's only been, she came 2023. This is 2025, y'all. She's a toddler in the WWE.
Very much so. She's a toddler in pro wrestling. Period. Let me ask you this.
I feel like you just gotta give the girl some time. Which I feel like that boo boo. I'm gonna just call it what it is. It's a boo boo. It's a little hurt that should have woke her up.
Mm-hmm.
And while you're letting your little eyebrow heal, this is your time to get finished. So there's your answer. Is she underrated or just unfinished? I think she is just unfinished.
And
you got to finish it.
And looking at the poll right now, the poll is asking: is Jade Cargill overhyped, underrated, or is she unfinished? 50% of people say that she's overhyped. Wow. 50% say that she's unfinished, and 0% say that she is overrated. 0% that says that she's underrated. So right now there's a two-way tie with overhyped and just finished. So if you're watching live right now, go ahead and make sure that you put your vote in. If you don't have the benefit of watching live, you're watching the replay, put it inside the chat. Maria says that she couldn't stand the glow gimmick for Naomi. Her current gimmick is so much better. Yeah. I
agree. Oh my God. I watched the glow era and I was like,
it didn't do it for me.
It was cute for a second, but remember what I said? Make sure y'all watch Stream-A-Mania because I'm going to bring this up. Ooh. It amazes me how the era of 2020, 2012, 2013, the girls were cheerleaders. You feel me? We saw them wrestle, but it was to be cute. You know what I'm saying? It was to be cat fighty. You know what I'm saying? But when Naomi turned heel,
right?
Oh my God, y'all. Like I was like, you saw a whole different side of her. You saw her wrestle. You know, you saw them give the energy that we wanted her, not this baby face, not this, oh my God, this obsessive woman that's on Bianca's heels. No. Well, yeah, but no. You know, so, you know, but tune in. Y'all make sure y'all get on the Stream-Mania so we can talk more about that.
When is Stream-A-Mania? Tell them when Stream-A-Mania is.
November 6th. Yay. November 6th, you guys. We are going to be right here live, 5 hours. We're going to be talking everything pro wrestling. This is going to be so fun.
That's right. Hour 5 is going to be for you guys. You know, you guys can call the promo hotline. Call the promo hotline and you can leave your hot takes now. If you want to be a part of Stream-A-Mania, all you have to do, I made it so simple for you. Just call 973-826-0101. Become a part of the show. I left a prompt on the voicemail. You can ask me anything. Ask me anything that you want to ask me. Ask me. Because you are going to be a part of Hour 5. Hour 5 is for you. Because if it wasn't for you, I wouldn't be here. I swear to God. I swear to God right now. If it wasn't for you guys, I wouldn't be here. There'd be no reason for me to be here. I'd just be a guy talking to himself like I did in season 3 for the first episode. But we're looking at the whole entire thing with Jade Cargill. And the question I have for you, Jess, is when somebody like Jade disappears off TV, do you assume that she's being repackaged or punished?
It depends on their exit. It truly depends on their exit. We know why Jade is not there. We all watched SmackDown 2 weeks ago. We know why she's technically not there, right? Right. But I feel like it's to give her opportunity to chisel up. You know what I'm saying? Try to get polished, get ready, so that when she does return, which, you know, me personally, I think she's going to be back for War Games. That's just my prediction. And she will be ready. We will see the Jade that we deserve, not the Jade that we got.
I think that when somebody like her is being taken off TV, I don't think that she's being punished. I think that WWE, obviously she's off TV probably if she's off TV now because of the injury, she's off TV for a different reason altogether, so I'm not holding that against her. But what I'm saying is that when somebody like her is off TV, I'm assuming that WWE is pumping the brakes because they've invested so much into Jade Cargill, they're not ready to throw her away yet. And I'm so glad they're not ready to throw her to throw her away yet. But I don't think that WWE slow her down. What I really think that they did was they finally just hit the tutorial mode.
The free tutorial's over.
Yeah, we just went back, you know, back in the day when you used to buy the video game. I don't know if you played video games way back in the day with Nintendo.
I had a PlayStation 1.
You used to have to read the book if you want to learn how to play the game.
You did.
So now,
you had to learn.
So now they, instead of them just saying, hey, let's just put her in the game and let her swim, what they did was they just played, you know, go back through tutorial. But then came the comeback, right? Then came the comeback after they took her off the TV. And the question of whether Jade could finally work at the level that she looks. That's what happened eventually after that. But something's coming November 6th. It's Stream-A-Mania, and I want to show you this video. Thursday, like never before. It's Stream-A-Mania. 5 hours, 5 blocks, 1 pro wrestling super stream. WWE, AEW, TNA, nothing's off limits. Hour 1, I'm kicking things off solo. Hour 2, Jess the Yaptain. She joins me to talk women in pro wrestling. Hour 3, a debate you don't want to miss. Hour 4, our main event feature. And Hour 5, I'm closing it down. After dark, one-on-one with you. It's live, it's raw, and it may never happen again. Don't miss the first ever Stream-A-Mania, Thursday, November 6th, 6 p.m. Eastern, 3 p.m. Pacific, 11 p.m. in the UK, live and only on YouTube. Stream-A-Mania is coming. I'm telling you, Stream-A-Mania is coming. Stream-A-Mania is probably one of the coolest things I ever did. You know, you guys don't understand that sometimes I sit around when I'm at work or, you know, when I'm here in the studio and I'm just thinking of different weird things that I can do to spend time with you guys. And I'm urging you, 973-826-0101. You want to be a part of Stream-A-Mania? You want to be a part of the Tristen Law Show, but you're too shy to put your face on the camera? You want to be a part of the Tristen Law Show, but you just watch, but you don't ever interact in the chat? Well, this is your opportunity. 973-826-0101. Go ahead and make yourself a part of the show. I want you to be a part of Stream-A-Mania. You can ask me anything that you want. Make sure you give me your name and make sure you tell me where you're calling from. Universal, you don't got to give your real name. Just say Universal. Maria, you can still say Maria. And Fernando, we know that Fernando is probably your real name. You can use Fernando as well, too. But today, what we are talking about, myself and my co-host, Jess the Yaptain. We're talking about Jade Cargill. Is she overhyped, underrated, or just unfinished? Right now, looking at the poll, it's 50-50. Right now, we're deadlocked. She is 50%. Everybody says that she's overhyped, and 50% everybody says that she is just unfinished. Nobody thinks that she's underrated. All right, everybody still feels like there's a little bit more work to do with Jade Cargill. But when we're looking at Jade Cargill came back and she had her WrestleMania 41 feud, right? She came back to Elimination Chamber and she attacked Naomi. I still feel 100% there was so much more meat on that bone when it came to that story. The story with Bianca and Naomi and Jade, it had so much more meat on the bone. But they threw it away in the garbage.
I truly did, because I was like, man, I remember, because I was on the live train just like everybody else. I was like, nah, man, Liv did that. She did it. You can't, like, I'm not about to sit there. I believe Naomi. I did. I was like, no, Naomi, you didn't do that to your little angel. You didn't do that to your child. That's like basically like your child, bro. You didn't do that, bro.
And I've talked about it before. Happened? I feel that Bianca could have totally been at the hands of Bianca. Reason being that it could have been at the hands of Bianca, and I've made a whole entire, I think I made like 2 or 3 episodes about this. The reason why it could have been at the hands of Bianca is because you never really seen who did it, right? The only reason that Naomi got the big breaks beat off of her by Jade Cargill is because she goes, well, you know, that was the last person that I saw. You know, when I got knocked out, I saw her running away, right? What if she was running away to get help? What if the story was that Naomi didn't want her in the picture anymore, and she was going to do it, right? But then she came and saw her laying and went to go get help. But the whole entire time, it was Bianca Belair.
I would have loved that, since, you know, everybody wants her to turn heel so bad, which is what they're expecting her to do. Like, if y'all, I've been watching y'all on socials, y'all. I watch y'all all the time, y'all. And all of y'all want Bianca to turn heel so bad. Right. Y'all want Bianca, like, this is the rumor. I wish I had my little tinfoil hat.
Hold on.
Yeah, so they're right. Yeah, this is what's going on.
All right, I got my tinfoil hat on for you. Go ahead with your rumor.
So check this out. So when Bianca does return, which I think, again, another return in War Games, she's turning heel against Jade, but then also joining the Street Profits.
That'd be nice,
As
but they'd have to get rid of that girl though. That girl don't got no business being there. B-Fab. Get rid of her.
There we go.
Get rid of her. Maybe we can get a mixed tag match down the line. You know, I don't know, but I love me some Bianca Belair. Bianca Belair is a great wrestler. Hold on. Universal says that the reason why that she's not on TV, Jade Cargill, is because her contract expired. Universal also says the reason why Trinity's talking about Naomi went to Raw is because she didn't want to work with Jade. Legit heat between them. Okay, all right. We're getting the scoop from Universal.
Really?
Yeah.
They beefing like that?
Yeah, I guess so. But look, when it comes to WrestleMania 41, though, WrestleMania 41 was the first time there was a women's singles match without a gimmick or a stipulation or a title in a long time. A huge trust signal or a coincidence. I know that WWE rarely devotes that kind of valuable WrestleMania ring time to a non-title women's single story, unless WWE's not putting people on PLEs anymore just to put them on PLEs. The day of putting somebody in a pay-per-view because it felt nice or because you were trying to fill out a card with 25 matches, it doesn't happen anymore. If the WWE is putting you in the ring on a PLE, they know that you have drawing power and your emotional investment with the audience is very high. Mm-hmm. But she wins the match. She exposes her pacing, right? I'm talking about the match that she has at WrestleMania 41, right? And the inexperience, the transitions, all that, it wasn't there. She goes to Queen of the Ring, and Queen of the Ring is supposed to be her crowning moment. No pun intended. She defeats Roxanne Perez and Asuka. She wins the tournament. She's crowned Queen Jade. The WWE leans into the regal image, right? And the symbolic moment is validation without a belt. The Queen of the Ring is nice. Back in the day, Queen of the Ring meant that you were next. You were next in line. You were no longer a mid-carder, and now you're a main eventer. But what happened? Now they send you directly to the main event. They put you right in the ring with the championship. But then what happened? She lost. There was nothing ever with it. SummerSlam 2025, they put her in the ring with Tiffany. It was a title match. It was competitive, but it was sloppy. And Booker T criticizes her and said that she didn't learn much in AEW. What do you think? You think she didn't learn nothing in AEW?
I think she did, but it just goes back to what I was saying. Just because, like, she learned stuff in AEW, but doesn't mean all of those things that she was taught at AEW applies to stuff that's happening in WWE. So I'm going to disagree with Booker. Why? Because, Booker, you have been sitting on a desk doing commentary how long? So, you know, and you're doing your LFG stuff, right? So you're sitting there on the LFG. How would you know what's going on at AEW? A phone call? Are you sitting in that room? Did you watch Jade train? So how is it that you know what she learned or didn't learn?
So I think one of the things too, though, in Booker T's defense, that Booker T does have the school Reality of Wrestling over there in Texas. He is a part of his school, is a part of WWE ID. He is responsible for training up some of the biggest stars or some of the biggest stars right now in NXT or even in TNA and even some in AEW right now. I think that as a trainer that he should be watching other pro wrestling to see what they're doing, to see where people can fit, because Booker T's name has it carries so much weight. So if he wants somebody somewhere or thinks that somebody fits somewhere, he can just make a phone call. Hey, it's Book, man. Can you give my guy a look? I think that Booker T giving that critique, even though Maria says that, and she feels that Booker T's taking a shot at AEW every single opportunity that he gets, but I feel that 100% in my heart that I think that Booker T is saying that from a place of love. But I don't, and when you're looking at AEW, I don't think that AEW has the processes in place to hone Jade's character. AEW has wrestling brains behind the scenes, but they don't have a performance center.
That's what I wanted to say. That she needs to be at the performance center so that she can, learn what is to be WWE, not AEW, because you can clearly see it based off of watching it off of TV. It's different.
It is. It's different. And I said this all the time. AEW talks to looking at AEW and WWE and TNA, WWE, what they put first is they put forth the storytelling. Can we take this character and make money off of them without even looking at their pro wrestling skills? That's why we got people there like R-Truth. R-Truth can wrestle, right? He's been around for a long time. He's a veteran. He's an OG, but they use him for slapstick comedy all the time. When you look at AEW, they focus on great wrestling matches. What some fans just want. Why some fans just went to New Japan Pro Wrestling. All they wanted was good wrestling and the ha-ha hee-hee later on in the end. But TNA plays both sides of the fence, and they give you both.
I agree.
Universal says, well, hold on. Let me go back. Let me go back a little bit. Maria says that, golly, you guys are just writing a lot in the chat today. Let me go back a little bit, show you a little bit of love back there. Fernando says that he agrees that WWE pulled the plug way too soon on the Jade and Naomi story. Fernando also says that Bianca is too good of a babyface to turn heel. You're right. At this point, people just love her. You'd have to put her against somebody. You know what would have been the best time to turn her heel? Against Jade Cargill. That would have been the best place because everybody loves her. But now it's like, would people cheer her for beating up Jade Cargill? I don't know. Universal says the reason why Trini went to Raw is, we read that one already. Universal says that he agrees that Bianca is a perfect heel, not a face. Maria says, I never wanted Bianca to turn heel. I'm very unhappy she didn't and never should. Fernando says that B-Fab is terrible and needs to go back to NXT. You know, I don't think B-Fab has enough reps on the main roster. I think that's what it is.
No, her and what's her name? Michelin?
Oh, Michin's been around for a while too.
You feel me? I'm like, you can tell who they keep playing with in women's wrestling, but okay.
Universal says that he agrees that B-Fab sucks. She doesn't suck. She's better than Jade, but she doesn't need to go back to NXT. Maria says that WWE ruined the King of the Ring in the beginning, and it's a very prestigious tournament when Stone Cold and Bret Hart and Triple H and all these other people are winning 100%. 100%. Universal also feels so that they shouldn't have brought it back. Thank you guys so much for your comments. But look, fans are split. Some people blame WWE's stop booking. Others say that she's just not improving fast enough. And obviously, if you're listening or you're looking at what's happening in the chat, you're getting the temperature of what the pro wrestling world says, right? Some things to look at. What Booker T really meant. AEW gave her the look, but WWE has to give her the mileage. How fan bias plays into this? It was they treat her a certain way, right? It's the expectations, the double standards, the way that she's supposed to behave because she's a beautiful, strong black woman. I'm saying this right now. The internet doesn't want Jade Cargill to improve. They want her to fail so that they can say that she was right. Because if anybody else goes out to the ring and makes a mistake, it's fine. But if Jade goes out to the ring and make a mistake, it's like, oh, I told you so. The microscope effect is not fair. Jade Cargill's only had 5 years of television time. Jade has only really had 5 years of TV time between AEW and WWE. The days of wrestling 5 days per week, every year are over thanks to the pandemic on WWE. The thing with Jade Cargill is that she's learning on national TV and fans just don't like watching the process. They want the perfection.
Well, they can get over it. Get over it, like... No. Maybe that's why y'all say WWE doesn't care about the fans, but maybe they do. Maybe they do because they want certain wrestlers to succeed, right? I'm a story person, so me watching Jade grow makes me happy. But for y'all, if y'all just want to see straight up wrestling, take your asses back over there to AEW.
But it's okay. You can watch whatever you want to watch. You can watch whatever if you want to watch straight up wrestling, go ahead and watch that AJ Styles versus John Cena match from
1,000 times over and over
from
and
Crown
over
Jewel.
again.
But we ain't talking about that. We're talking about Jade Cargill today. But yeah, you're right. You're right. Watch it 1,000 times over. When I'm looking right, you look. People say that they're slow cooking. Jade Cargill. Look at Bianca Belair. Look at Charlotte Flair. Look at Roman Reigns. You gotta look at the patience versus pressure. Let me give you some facts right now. You ready for some facts, Jess? The Yaptain?
Yes. Let's learn me something.
Here's the facts. Roman Reigns was in WWE, right? He spent 2 years in developmental before moving to the main roster. Bianca Belair spent 4 years in the WWE developmental before moving to the main roster. Charlotte Flair spent 3 years in the WWE developmental before moving to the main roster. I'm asking everybody right now, and I'm asking you, Jess. What do Charlotte, Bianca, and Roman Reigns have in common?
I will say time. They've been in the game a little longer, especially Charlotte Flair and Roman Reigns. We all know Charlotte's a nepo baby, but she still carried for a long, long time.
You're right.
Roman and the Shield, that was over 10, 20 years ago.
Bianca, not that long.
Maybe
me and
10.
Roman are not that old, all right? Pump your brakes, kid.
Okay, 10. I'll say 10 years. Bianca came around 2018.
Sure.
Let's say around 2018, 2019. So she's almost in her 10 year, right? So they all started, they grew from the bottom up. And unfortunately, Jade, went from one big thing to another big thing.
And the thing that, and I think you're 100% right? The thing that I feel that Charlotte Flair, Bianca Belair, and Roman Reigns all have in common is that they came in as nobodies. They were allowed ample time to hone their craft in developmental, come to the main roster, and build a character on screen. 100% right. Yeah. They said that it takes, 10,000 hours to learn how to master a craft? I don't think that Jade Cargill is even at that time, and it's not any fault. I don't think it's of any fault of hers. I think it is because of how the climate of pro wrestling is. They don't get that ability to go on live events anymore, for every single day, be on TV one day, go on an international tour, and spend like 30 days away from home. That doesn't exist anymore. And I'm great that the wrestlers don't have to do that anymore. Maybe that's why, going to WrestleMania might cost you $20,000 and your unborn grandchild. Maybe that's why, because they have to make up the money somehow. But look, I think that Booker T is right. AEW gave her the look, but they didn't give her the mileage.
There you go.
Jess, if Jade's improvement is slow, if Jade's improvement is slower, is that on her or is that on how both AEW and WWE have booked her? What do you think?
I'm wholeheartedly saying booking. Because it's not like she's not doing the work. It's not like she's not training. It's not like she's not learning. It's not like she doesn't go learn and figure out who she is as what is her persona as a wrestler. No, that is y'all over there in the business not booking her correctly or not at least giving her a chance or opportunity to really grow. Y'all want her to be the star so bad, but she's unfinished. I'm not saying she's not ready, but she's half baked.
I agree.
That's all.
I agree. The middle is still soft. I have to be careful how I said that, so it didn't come off any kind of way.
And that's true too. That's how baking works. It's still wet in the middle, so you gotta let it cook a little more.
OD pause. Universal says that he's not against Jade. Not at all. I want her to be better. I want her to stop hurting every wrestler she's in the ring with. Jade can be a star. That starts in NXT. He says he wants her to stop hurting every wrestler that she's in the ring with. If you ask me, right, do I think that Jade's improvement is slower? Is it on her or is it both on how AEW has booked her? I think it's a little bit of both. I think it's because of how AEW booked her that obviously AEW, they were still trying to find their identity when they first started when Jade Cargill got there. Granted, she was trained by great people. She had good minds in AEW, but I think the part of the problem is now they should have took that. They should have took that clay in WWE, send it to NXT, and mold it into something else. But here's the thing: where does that leave her now? Is Jade a stalled project, or is she a sleeping giant? You see I'm coming with the hot questions today. I got the hot questions today.
I look, again, we still got a couple of PLEs to go before the new year. We still have War Games.
We do.
We still have the Royal Rumble.
Sure do.
You know what I'm saying? We got all these things coming up. I think they're letting that girl cook a little more.
I think so. And even though Universal says that, her contract might be up, she might have a 2-year contract. If that is the case, I hope that they don't release her. But let's take a look at where this all started. This all started in late 2024. right? It was tension. There was reports, rumor and innuendo, that there was reports of tension with her and Bianca Belair and Shayna Baszler. The internet narrative, it snowballed, and fans labeled her as difficult. WWE leading into it via storyline and then they had Naomi attack Jade. I don't know. When you look at the misogynoir and the perception, misogynoir is where black women in wrestling get harsher judgment for confidence, and it's seen as arrogance. Look, the thing about being a black person, for anybody that's watching doesn't know what it's to be like a black person, or be a person of color, right? It's hard. Right? Because when people see you, they think of you of a certain way. I always have to walk around and watch how my temperament is because I don't want anybody to say, oh no, he's an angry black man. We don't want to deal with the angry black man. Because I assert myself, I automatically assume all man can be seen become an angry black man. And, maybe that's the thing with Jade. When Jade's out there, she's asserting her confidence. Maybe people feel that it's a little bit of arrogance. I feel that Jade's not a problem. She's just a confident black woman in a business that is still learning how to handle that.
It's crazy how Bianca and Naomi and Jade are arrogant, but y'all never say that about Charlotte Flair, Becky Lynch.
I mean,
y'all don't say all that. Like, it's weird.
You see, for Charlotte Flair, they give her a different part. They give her a different part of the pie to eat. Oh, you're your daddy's daughter. That's what they give her. Oh, you're your daddy's daughter. I don't think that's fair. I feel that the women in wrestling deserve to get the same exact shake that the men get. In AEW,
y'all love Dominic Mysterio though, don't y'all?
Right, they love them some Dominic Mysterio.
Come on, man.
Love them some Dominic Mysterio.
I'm not saying he can't wrestle, but he doesn't wrestle a lot. But yet he is just like the star.
Right. I mean,
crazy.
When your daddy's Eddie Guerrero, he lies, he cheats, and he steals. So I get it. AEW's audience praised and admired Jade Cargill's look, but questioned her legitimacy. WWE, the audience reversed it, praising her legitimacy, but nitpicking everything else. It's a double-edged sword. Confidence becomes controversy. But here's the reality check. By 2025, there's no credible reports of heat. Naomi, the feud was handled professionally. You got colleagues like Bianca Belair and Naomi publicly putting her over. They supported her in interviews. So like I said before, Booker T's interview, his critique, it wasn't personal. It was about reps and it's about fundamental. It is Booker T's as job as a veteran to talk about what she is and what she isn't. Should he do it publicly? I don't know. Maybe it's something he's saying to her backstage and she's not getting it. I don't know. But the thing though, right, Jess, about how people babyface you when you're in wrestling, you say to somebody, hey, brother, what did you think of my match? Oh, that match was great. That match was great. But you go back and watch that match, and that match was the drizzling shats. It should have they should have sat you down and said to you, hey, look, that match is not great. Here's what I do. When somebody says to me, yo, Tris, can you watch my match? I'll watch the match. And when they come back, they go, what do you think? I'll ask them two things. Do you want me to tell you what you want to hear? Or do you want me to tell you what I really feel? And 9 times out of 10, they always said to me, Tristen, you watch my match, tell me how you really feel. And I always be honest with them, because how is it going to help them, even from my perspective, my point of view? How is it going to help them if I'm just putting them over saying, hey, brother, that was the best match. And when they walk back away from me, I'm like, yo, that match was terrible. That doesn't help them. That doesn't help the wrestling business. And that's what they do in wrestling. They tell you that your match is great when your match is terrible. The only way they tell you,
try to boost egos and whatnot. You know?
Right. Don't boost my ego. If I get better, the show gets better. Let me give you the big takeaway. I think that Jade's only problem is being too new for how famous she already is. WWE wants her to be a box office star first and a ring general second. Do you think
that's not how it works?
Nah, I don't agree. I mean, maybe it would have worked if she had more reps underneath her belt. She don't got no time underneath her belt. Like we said, she's still a toddler in pro wrestling. Do you think that the pro wrestling audience, looking at WWE, AEW, the whole entire pro wrestling world, do you think they judge Jade Cargill differently because she looks too much like a superstar before she wrestles like one?
I think it's that. And then I also think it's a nostalgia because remember, I mean, who else looked like that? Who else looked like that? Say her name. China.
You know what's funny?
It's a nostalgia kink It's a kink. I was like, hold up, that looks like China, but as a black woman. And one thing everyone always talks about, the best woman wrestler of all time. Oh, nobody's topping off China. When in reality, I was like, China was just very beautiful, but she barely wrestled. Barely.
She was the Intercontinental Champion. She was also the first. She was the first woman.
No, so is Becky Lynch, and she's barely.
No. That's a different Intercontinental Champion. China was a trailblazer. China was the first Intercontinental Champion. She was the first woman to ever hold the men Intercontinental Championship. Oh. She was the first woman to ever be put into, you see, and your doggy's agreeing with me. She was the first ever woman to be in the men's Royal Rumble. At that time, it was only one Intercontinental Championship, and only the men got to hold that. There was only one Royal Rumble, and only the men got to be in that. And China's a trailblazer. What Fernando says, that no woman in WWE was as protected and pushed as good as China. Look, China had to look. China had to look like she could beat up men, and she could beat up men, right? You know, China was the co-Intercontinental Championship with Eddie Guerrero. Maybe
Jade could beat him, man. We saw her pick up. What's her name? What's his name from Alpha Maid?
Oh, Otis.
It's like, it's the same similarities, except it's a different skin color, bro. They are trying to do the same thing with Jade. Problem is, Jade is it's unfinished. She hasn't trained enough in that ring. What you call it? The participation?
The performance center, the PC in Florida.
Performance center, right. She hasn't been in there long enough. You have to give her time. This is not early 2000s wrestling anymore. People got to remember that. I know the nostalgia sounds great, and every time you talk about it, Trish, it sounds amazing, but that is not this anymore. You got to give her time. You got to give her a chance.
Yeah, if you ask me, I think that the wrestling audience, they do judge a little bit too quick. And the WWE wants, the WWE universe, the fans, they want everything a little bit too quickly, right? And AEW, I think AEW was taking their time with her, rightfully so. But when she went to WWE didn't take that time with her. They put the rocket to her back and want to see where she goes. Universal says that Jade is a much better wrestler. Universal says that Jade is a much better wrestler than China. Universal says that he never liked China. China was never a good wrestler. And Maria said, what? With like 10,000 exclamation marks. Universal, you never liked China? Ooh, there's a little bit of fight going on in the chat.
Thank you.
Let's be nice to each other.
But I'm gonna say, like I said, I think China was, yes, definitely a trailblazer, but I also put her in the label of a wrestling cheerleader.
Yeah. But you know what? But we've spent all this time, right, talking about the problems with Jade Cargill, right? I'm not the kind of guy, Jess, that wants to just talk about all the problems. Let's talk about how we can fix this. I think that if they're going to fix this, give Jade longer matches on TV when she comes back, if she comes back, right? Give her 8 to 10 minutes with veterans like Asuka, like Natalya, like Becky. Put her there. That's what she needs. Maybe do a sit-down promo with her to let fans meet Jade the person, right? Maybe protect Jade. Protect Jade as a sudden kill shot. How about choose one clear identity for her? Is she the heel queen or the babyface phenom? She can't be both. She can't be both. I think that they should build her towards the Charlotte Flair showdown, and that's going to be defining her in her ultimate test. That is her state test for her to move on to the next grade. Jade Cargill, look, listen to me. Jade Cargill needs Charlotte Flair as her final test. Charlotte Flair is at the top of the food chain, even if she's in the tag team championship story with Alexa Bliss. The only reason that she is there right now, Charlotte Flair, is because they can't let her, Charlotte Flair, hold the championship 50,000 times. Let somebody else get a turn. Like my mother used to always say when we were playing Nintendo back in the day, let one of your other brothers get a turn. That's what I think is coming.
You know what, just to piggyback off what you're saying, this is why I feel like Jade should go for the United States Championship. Why not?
Nah, I think she needs to go for
the women's. I feel like that was a little too high for her. This is why we just said she's unfinished, so maybe we should drop her down a little bit. You know,
send her for the Intercontinental Championship.
Maybe that, or go over there to Raw for the Intercontinental and see Becky Lynch. You know,
in pro wrestling, In order for you to become better, you need to be in the ring with somebody that is better than you. Every single time I was in the ring with somebody that was better than me, I leveled up. When I wrestled Balls Mahoney, I leveled up. When I wrestled Jake the Snake's brother, I leveled up. When I wrestled QT Marshall, I leveled up. When I wrestled Eddie Orengo, who was El Bandito Jr., he's now a referee in the WWE, I leveled up. When I wrestled Punishment Martinez, who everybody knows today as Damian Priest, I leveled up. Whenever you wrestle somebody that is better than you, you level up. Whenever you hang out, that's why one of the things that I hate is to be the smartest person in the room. I want to be an idiot in a room full of geniuses because I'm going to learn something. You only get better when you're in a room with somebody else, and that's why I 100% feel this. One feud with Charlotte Flair could do more for Jade Cargill than a year of holding the tag team championships.
Yes.
Let's look at the poll, the final poll, right? The final poll. We're going to end the poll right now. We're closing the door on the poll. Is Jade Cargill overhyped, underrated, or is she just unfinished? It's 50-50. Everybody's deadlocked right now. She's deadlocked right now. Let's go to the chat one final time. Universal says that he disagrees respectfully. Cheerleader is perfectly said. Didn't you say cheerleader, Jess?
Yes. Again, make sure y'all come on to Stream-A-Mania.
Stream-A-Mania, November 6th.
I am going to talk so much about it. Like, bro, yes. WWE women wrestlers were cheerleading wrestlers all the way up until maybe 2012 with the Bella twins. Okay? We can talk about it.
Maria just said the only title Jade Cargill has any business holding is the Speed title.
Yeah, she is fast. I will say that.
No, that's disrespectful.
Wait, what's this? Okay, help me out, y'all. Y'all know I'm about to say I'm in it, but I ain't in it. So what's the Speed?
So the Speed title used to be defended on X, on Twitter, and they gave them 5-minute matches. It was 5-minute matches, and they count down. They have lights. It's a cool concept. They just wrestled for it on the last NXT PLE or Premium, whatever. And that's like
that. They did it for the dudes, right?
They had one for the dudes as well too. It's literally the lowest of the lowest that you can be, if you ask me. But Universal was crazy. Like, damn, Maria, I disagree. Maria put like 2 laughy faces emoji, and Maria's having a good time. But let me say this. Booker T said that she didn't learn much in AEW, and maybe he's right. But in fairness, Jade Cargill is learning in public. Under a spotlight, most wrestlers never get until they fully master their craft. She's not the finished product. She's the process. Televised, debated, dissected. AEW bought the clay. WWE is trying to mold the clay. And if they get it right, Jay won't just be seen as a queen. She'll be seen as the standard of what a modern star looks like when power, presence, and perseverance finally sync up. You like that? You like that? Can I get
Clocked it?
Can I get it?
Yeah.
Can I get it?
Clocked it. Yes. Loved it.
Well, that's Jade Cargill. Is she overhyped, underrated, or just unfinished? My name is Tristen Law. She's just the Yaptain. If you like what we did today, make sure you like, share, and subscribe. Like, share, and subscribe. Don't make us your little dirty secret. Make sure you tell everybody what we're doing here. Stream-A-Mania is happening November 6th, live here on the Tristen Law Show. 5 hours, 5 blocks, all pro wrestling. Hour 5 is just for you. I'll be back later on this week. I'm Tristen Law, and this is the Tristen Law Show, and I'll see you next time.
Flashing red lights, driving at night, windowless ride, feeling alive, nothing in sight, forever in flight, follow those lines, we'll make it this time, blurry street lights, working